So today's video is a little bit about, I was watching Dougal digging a hole, and I was thinking about where do we dig holes for ourselves in our lives and what to do about that when we find ourselves in a hole and we are trying to get out of that hole, but we find ourselves digging more to try and get out of the hole, which only makes the hole bigger. Because you can't actually dig yourself out of a hole, because obviously digging is what created the hole in the first place. So it can only make it bigger. And if we think about the energy of trying, that's the same. You can't try to get your way out of a difficult situation. Trying is what's kind of holding you in that situation in the first place. And, what is trying? If you try and do it now, you act it out, you exaggerate it, you're trying really, really hard. It's kind of an energy of really pushing, forcing something, but not actually getting there. I always say to my clients when I give them some homework to do between sessions, and they say, well, I'll try and get that done. And I'll say, okay, if you try to get that done, if you imagine these two buildings and you're stood on the top of one of them and you try to jump over to the other building, what's going to happen if you actually try to do that? And obviously the answer is you're going to fall in between the two buildings, because trying means that you're not going to actually do it. You're going to just drop between the two. So trying is the opposite of surrendering and letting go. And a lot of times people say, but if I do that, then how is that going to solve the problem? But actually what it does is it creates a different energy. And it's the energy that we create that then allows us to see our situation from a newer perspective. So the trying energy is a bit like being in fight or flight mode. And you're kind of just stuck in one of those two things, not allowing yourself to be conscious of any of it. And that's most of us how we go through our lives, with clenched muscles, shallow breathing, and pretending that we're fine. And often we're just in our mental body kind of looping through various problems that we perceive are happening in our reality. So if we just have the energy of surrender, just accepting what is as it is without any judgment and without trying to force or change anything, that's a space where we can build from, because we're not trying to pretend it's something that it's not. So rather than just continuing to dig because we feel like doing something is better than not doing anything, we're able then to lift our head out of the hole, and we're probably able to look around and see a completely different perspective. So if we look at this video, the dog is focused on the hole, his face is in the hole, his nose is covered with the soil, his eyes are in the hole. But if you look up, there's a beautiful view of some woods, some beautiful bluebells. You can smell the bluebells, and things look different. We have a different perspective. So next time you're in a hole, just take a moment to stop, fully acknowledge that you're in a difficult situation. Take a deep breath into it. Just fully allow that to be exactly as it is. And that creates space. And from that space, you're then able to take inspired action and take your next step.